This is a corporate event, so I'm gonna speak corporate. My name is Amy Huang. My gender pronouns are what if and how much. Great to see everyone here, especially Professor Ulrich. Thank you for taking time off from filming The Golden Bachelor to be here. Am I the only person who thinks that white people all look the same? Oh. You mentioned the word untucked so many times in your presentation that your next reality TV show should be RuPaul's Drag Race. You guys didn't get it. Not very well versed in the transgender culture. Han invited me to do stand-up comedy after learning that Joe Wong cost $30,000. Han told me, Amy, I'm gonna pay you $15,000 because you're a woman. And instead of paying you cash, I'm going to make a hard commitment of $15,000 in the final closing of your current fund. Final closing, hard commitment, that means he's not going to pay me. Just like Han, I'm also a venture capitalist. Most of the human professions that we know end with ER. For example, teacher, driver, firefighter, and drug dealer. The phrase venture capitalist ends with ist, which rhymes with some of the more sophisticated professions, artist, scientist, and therapist, which describe what we do, especially the therapist part to our LPs. Oh, I'm very sorry I have to write off that investment, but just think about how much contribution that your money has done to advance artificial general intelligence. So as venture capitalists, we provide hospice service to our LPs' money. The phrase venture capitalist also rhymes with narcissist, racist, and rapist, which some of us are. The epiphany moment of my career as a venture capitalist was when I learned about the story of former Sequoia partner Michael Gogren, where he bribed the entire police force of a small town in Montana and built a sex dungeon. At that moment, I decided I don't want to be on the Forbes Midas list. I want to be on TMZ. I don't want to be rich. I want to be Sequoia rich so that one day I could build a sex dungeon. You guys are all invited. As a matter of fact, after Sequoia, Michael Gogren has a new fund. The name of the fund is called Two Bear Capital. Let that sink in. Two Bear Capital. He went from womanizer to gay real quick. Okay, this joke didn't go as good as I expected, because you guys are too straight. You know? Well versed in the gay lingos, and Han needs to re-examine your DEI policy of your LP base. Okay, let's talk about something more lighthearted, the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement told us that it's very hard for a woman to be in business. As an Asian woman, I want to be taken seriously professionally. It is very challenging that every middle-aged white man want to marry us as their second wife. You ask, why second wife? Let me learn you something, Brisbane, or wherever the hell we are. Asian women, an alpha asset or flywheel, whatever you call it, are the Birkin bags in the marriage community. You have to buy a bunch of other stuff before you're eligible to buy a Birkin bag. Asian women are indeed perfect choice for CEOs. Just imagine those guys after they boss around thousands or tens of thousands of employees in a day, they come home. They are so exhausted. They just want to be told what to do, be dominated while feeling inadequate. We're perfect for that. Imagine if Larry Ellison married an Asian woman. She'd be like, Larry, time to upgrade our island. I heard Maui is on sale. One of my favorite jokes of all time about Larry Ellison, I can't remember who wrote it, maybe Mark Benioff. It goes, what's the difference between Larry Ellison and Jesus? Jesus doesn't think he's Larry Ellison. We talk about Jesus. If Jesus' wife were an Asian woman, Jesus be like, look, I just turned water into wine. She'd be like, 2023 isn't even a good vintage. You just turned my Fiji water into shitty wine. Now make me a pastrami sandwich. Full disclosure, my husband is a white guy. He is a basic ass, commoner white guy. Exactly a month ago, on October 2nd, he got laid off. When he told me the news, I was like, I don't know what's more humiliating. You being laid off from an old, ancient Silicon Valley hardware company whose stock hasn't moved in 20 years, or me, an Asian woman, being married to a middle-aged, unemployed white guy, while my peers were married to Rupert Murdoch, Mark Zuckerberg, Sergey Brin, Mitch McConnell, I can go on and on. It is so difficult for a white guy to get a job in tech. It's easier for a white guy to play for the NBA. It is difficult for a white guy to get a job in tech is because all the decision makers are Indian. The men's bathroom in every company in Sunnyvale smells like chicken masala. I told my husband, if you don't find a job before end of the year, I may find my next husband on Mail, the Indian dating app. It is so difficult for a white guy out there. Did you hear Dr. King? If Professor Ulrich were not white, he will be doing keynote at A16Z annual conference in Rosewood Hotel instead of this no-name place with worn-down carpet right above Bart. Even though Han and I are categorized as Asian, we much prefer to be called Chinese, because as Chinese, we don't like our Asian neighbors. Japan, Korea, Vietnam, India, we hate them all. We hate Taiwan too. Let me tell you the real reason why China want to take over Taiwan. If you think it has anything to do with chips, you're wrong. The real reason why China want to take over Taiwan is that they can force Taiwanese men to speak proper Mandarin so that they don't sound like Sawadee Ka Thailand. If you don't get my joke, you should learn Chinese and speak with a Taiwanese man. However, China gets along very well with the faraway Asian neighbors. Kuwait, Saudi, Iran, basically anyone with oil. It's very odd to me that in America, you don't call those people people from the Middle East Asians, even though they are Asians. What do you call them? You call them LPs. The only time Chinese people don't mind being called Asian was when WHO wanted to investigate the origin of COVID-19. Too soon? Too real? In the end, I want to congratulate Han on having another great year running iFly VC, and I can't wait to be invited to your future sex dungeon. Thank you very much.